thing too, though. Let's talk about the trade deadline that's coming up.
So trade deadline's coming up. The Texans did trade Mark Ingram back to the Saints. I was actually kind of excited to see Mark Ingram go back to the Saints.
Yeah, so Mark Ingram was getting a lot of the snaps for the Texans. And I get, like, Mark Ingram is he's really good, and he's old, of course. But the weirdest part about the Texans is they had David Johnson, who they traded Hopkins for. Not only do I need to remind you guys of that trade, but they traded for David Johnson, and then they were giving him like 2 snaps a game.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you guys doing? Why would the Texans is a mess, and not only are they a mess, but Brandon Cooks, I don't know if you saw on Twitter today, after the Ingram trade went down, he said, this is bullshit or something. Mark my language, sorry if you're listening to this around kids, but he said, this is bullshit. So that could be another guy that gets traded before the deadline, but I was surprised that Ingram got traded because I didn't know it was going to happen, which the Texans are bad, so I should have expected it. But I was surprised the Saints traded for him again. So he's going back where he started. So
okay, sorry, I'm back.
Anyway, so they Brandon Cooks wants to be traded, but they won't trade him.
Yeah.
So more on the trade news, though, is the Eagles trade Joe Flacco to the Jets for a 6th-round pick. That can become
a 5th-rounder.
The legendary Joe Flacco's back.
I think that was honestly Joe Flacco was in Philadelphia. He was with there was like 4 QBs in that room. It was Jalen, Minshew, him, and there's probably another guy. What?
Zach Wilson.
No, I was talking about when he was on the
goodness. Yeah.
But he got traded to the Jets. Zach Wilson's hurt. I think that's awesome. They brought in a veteran that was, played for the Jets last year. So I think that's a good move. I was really kind of confused. They got Zach Wilson this year, and the other 2 quarterbacks they had in the QB room were guys that have never taken an NFL snap, and they weren't really veteran guys. They were young guys like Mike White. I think is the guy that's going to start this Sunday. I'm assuming if he struggles, Joe Flacco will probably get put in, but good for Flacco. He's keeping his career going as a backup. And I mean, hey, he took your team to a Super Bowl, so
I can't be upset.
Can't be upset. So, yep.
On to something I feel like we talk about
every week: the Deshaun Watson trade.
So, Carolina benched Sam Darnold last week. Sam Darnold's looking like Sam Darnold. So,
so before we get into the Deshaun Watson, man, can we talk about the Panthers and Broncos? Started 3-0, and now they're both 3-4.
Yeah.
That's 4 straight losses for both those teams. And it's funny because, after the first 3 games, Sam Darnold looked like, he was looking really good. Panthers looked really good. The Broncos, we thought they were good, but I also thought they were a little fakers, and they're showing it now. Both Bridgewater and Sam Darnold, they're both struggling. They were both two of the guys were like, man, they are having great years, and they're both not playing well lately.
Well, Deshaun Watson, he has a no trade clause, and
he will not.
He will not get rid of it
for the Panthers.
But he will for the Dolphins.
Which is kind of confusing because, it's the confusing part is I was listening to Strong Opinion Sports last night or this morning. Yeah, today. I was listening to the new episode, and they were talking about Deshaun Watson and how everyone's like, well, if he goes to the Dolphins, he's going to be so good. But do we not remember that the Texans are a bad team? And so is the Dolphins. They are a mess. But Tua But Tua, I think Tua's been playing better lately. So I'm still on the boat where they don't need Watson, and Brian Flores keeps coming out and saying that Tua's their quarterback and
They're telling
everything.
everyone they don't want him.
So I don't know. I wouldn't give up on Tua just yet. I think he's playing better lately. I just think the rest of the team is bad. The offensive line isn't good. The defense isn't very good, which is just really weird because they went 10-6 last year, and the Dolphins were one of the picks that we thought would be a pretty good team. So I don't know. If Watson wants to go to Miami, then go. But man, I don't know when any of that's gonna get resolved because nothing's came out of it since like the year started. So I don't know.
We'll see at the trade deadline. The trade
Deadline's the 4th.
Yeah, it's coming up. So I did see an article somewhere yesterday that said apparently the Dolphins and Texans have agreed to a trade, but they're waiting for the Watson stuff to come out to get resolved or whatever. But I don't know if that was true or not. None of the big major people reported it. It was just an article I saw floating around. So I don't know.
Yeah. On to the next thing.